We have received information that a picture of the name that Mr. Mogotsi wrote down may well have been photographed. Please don't put me in the position of having to state my basis like I put Mr. Mogotsi to task with regard to the basis of his information. But seriously, or on a serious note, if that has indeed been done, I direct that that name should not be published. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Mogotsi, if I can take you then to paragraph 31 of your statement. And you say in paragraph 31 that after you had won, well, you talk about winning General Sibiya's trust in paragraph 30, and in paragraph 31 you say General Sibiya agreed that I could continue with my 2 infiltration operations. Can I confirm that you're talking about the Matlala tender as one and the crime intelligence corruption issue as the second?
That's correct, Commissioners.
And can you then take the Commission through the rest of your paragraph 31?
We agreed that I could continue with my 2 infiltration operations. We refer to the matter involving Matlala.
Mr. Mogotsi, can you please have the mics in front of you, please, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Referred to the matter involving Matlala. Then General Sibiya gave me Matlala's contact numbers. My task was simple. I had to get close to Matlala and identify the syndicate involved in the tender, including if any subs members. For this purpose, I had to convince Matlala that I'm close to Mchunu and that my concern and any concerns that Matlala had regarding South African Police Service tender could be addressed with the Minister. These investigations are still going.
So your job was to investigate and identify the syndicate involved in the tender. Have you been able to identify members of that syndicate?
Yes, the investigation is ongoing. I cannot confirm that indeed I have a solid members that I've identified.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I say the investigation is ongoing and therefore cannot confirm solid names that I have identified.
You do later in your statement refer to Mr. Karim as an investor in the tender. Was that something that you established in the course of your investigations?
That's correct, Commissioners. Mr. Karim is Karim Suleiman Karim. He did, of course, showed me some documents that he has invested money in this tender with Vusi Ket Matlala.
Can you then take the Commission through your meeting with Mr. Matlala on 7 December 2024 and what came out of that meeting?
I did, of course, call Matlala, engage with Matlala. A meeting was arranged on 7 December 2024, during which Matlala vented his frustrations regarding the substandard. He intimated interior that SAPS had not made payments to him with reference to the tender. But after the meeting And in December, I received a call from Matlala saying, because I think I must emphasize on 32 that this was a telephonic call. And then after I received the second call, that's when we met with Matlala, saying that I should speak to Mkunu, as he and his wife have been assaulted by members of the PKTT. He indicated that he was intent on and was indeed attempting to open a criminal case regarding the incident at SAPS Brooklyn. He was, however, unsuccessful due to the fact that the SAPS refused to open a docket and receive the complaint.
So, just to clarify, did you physically meet with Matlala at all on 7 December?
Yes, Matlala, we spoke over the phone, and I received a call from him, and he told me that he has a problem, he couldn't open a case. And in my response to that, I did call my handler to arrange for Matlala to open a criminal case at Soweto. And then it was my handler, Mabisela, who then spoke to my co-handler, who then facilitated the opening of a docket.
During the period from 1993
after Matlala thereafter was able to open the case through my intervention. So the case was opened at SAPS in Soweto on 7 December 2024. And on that day, me and Matlala met in Johannesburg.
And we're talking about a physical meeting?
Physical meeting.
I'm sorry, I should have just raised this with you earlier. You say in paragraph 31 that General Sabia gave you Matlala's contact numbers.
That's correct.
Did you not have those numbers yourself?
In my phone, I had different numbers, but I never spoke to him before. But the numbers that he gave me were those that on a official arrangement with SAPS through his tender.
So you had certain numbers for Mr. Matlala in your phone already?
Yes, but they never worked because I had the numbers in my phone.
So we've clarified then there was a physical meeting on 7 December. Can you go to paragraph 34 and indicate to the Commission what Mr. Matlala shared with you at that meeting?
Yeah, the meeting was very, very important because, Commissioners, it is Matlala who told me that these people are very ungrateful. He further spoke about General Bheki Cele and General Masemola, saying that, these people expect me, like Masemola, he expects 25 million rand from me, and I have already given him 5 million rand. He also spoke about Bheki Cele that he has given him 2 million rand, and he wanted 10 million, which means the 8 million rand was outstanding. One of the important things he said was that Gen Masemola and Cele, they are having a plan, a comeback strategy for General Bheki Cele to come back, and they really, really want to get rid of General Sabia.
And so this is information that Mr. Matlala is giving you about, as it were, factions within the SAPS.
Yeah. Okay, may you rephrase the question?
Am I understanding your evidence correctly that this information about General Cele, General Masemola, General Sabia, it's coming from Mr. Matlala himself? And he's speaking to you about divisions within the SAPS?
Yes, he was telling me physically. We were together when he told me.
Can you please read what he said they expected from him? Please read it as is in paragraph 34.1.
They expected him as a service provider to make payment to General Masemola in the amount of 25 million and Gen Cele in the amount of 10 million. Of the 25 million expected to be paid to Masemola, 5 million rand had already been paid, and there was a balance of 20 million rand outstanding. with regard to the Cele payment, 2 million rand had already been paid, and a balance of 8 million rand was outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And did he give you any indication of how he paid them, when he'd paid them, whether he was going to pay the balance?
No, we never spoke about how he paid. Usually, when you are investigating something, talking to someone, the moment, as soon as you get deeper to know how, he'll immediately doubt you. You will take it as information and keep it.
Did Mr. Matlala explain to you how he knows that General Masemula and General Cele wanted to oust Minister Mchunu and General Sibiya? I'm assuming you would have asked the question.
Yeah, he did not tell the how of doing it. He just said they want to get rid of Senzo Mchunu and Sibiya.
So maybe you misunderstood my question. My question is how he knows that's what they want to do.
No, he never told me. Yes.
Thank you.
Can we then go to paragraph 35, and can you take the commission through paragraph 35?
Yes, paragraph 35, I'll read it first. It is in December 2024. The same Matlala, he referred me to a high-ranking police officer, and I subsequently met with him. I knew him, this police officer, I also knew him, as we have conducted one operation with him in the past. He shared information with me of the intention to craft a negative finding in a disciplinary hearing against Major General Khan, which was underway. He confirmed that he was in KZN for a briefing on how to address the Major General Khan situation. I'm not in the position to identify him herein, as there are real concerns relating to his personal safety.
So if I can clarify, this man was brought to you by Matlala.
Yes, he told me there is one hiking rate. He used the word, there's another bra that I want you to meet. He has something for you, and I believe the minister may want to hear, and the minister can do something. And I met this man who I have, in fact, I briefed my handler first to say there is this man who wants to meet with me, and then he's saying he has this kind of information. But when I met this man, I did a recording on our conversation. And immediately sent agent, after informing my handler, we had to process that because with the DPCI for section 252A. And I did meet with Lieutenant Colonel Schnell to register and apply for and conduct the operation in terms of that section of the law. My intention there, Commissioners, was to employ the information that I obtained from the senior officer in the section 204 that he can, against General Mkonazi and Lieutenant General Kumar, because that's what he told me, that in Durban, they plotted on how to expel General Khan.
So if I can just clarify, this officer who was referred to you by Mr. Matlala,
Yes.
told you that he was aware of a plot by Generals Kumalo and Mkonazi to get rid of General Khan.
That's correct, Commissioner.
And that, as I understand it, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but the plot involves getting this officer to give false evidence against General
That's correct. He was one of the witnesses of an incident that occurred some years back, and he was called to KZN as part of preparations for the hearing. They did give him how the whole plot is to unfold and how he should implicate General Khan.
Do you still have that recording?
Yes, the recording and the statement is with Lieutenant Colonel Snell.
If I might just mention in that regard, one of the documents that we have actually approached Lieutenant Colonel Schneller, and one of the documents that was given to you late yesterday is the transcription that the DPCI made of that recording. So it's in that exhibits bundle. Can I ask that overnight, I won't ask you to anything about it now, but overnight, can you look at that transcription and just check that it accurately reflects the recording according to your memory? And if there are any problems with it, can we address those tomorrow? Or can you be in a position to address those tomorrow? So I want to just take a step back. This is Mr. Matlala again telling you about, for want of a better word, factional fights within the SAPS. You have, according to Mr. Matlala and the officer he refers you to, you have two generals plotting to get rid of another general through false evidence of this officer.
That's correct.
Did you understand this division within the SAPS to be in any way related to the other division that Mr. Matlala had told you about, that you have General Masemola and Minister Cele on the one hand and General Sibia on the other? Or was this just a completely different split within the SAPS?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, commissioners, I believe at the right time also, I will talk to the relationship between General Bheki, Cele, Masemola, General Khumalo. And I've even given them a particular term, which as we proceed, I'll be able to, yes. The moment he mentioned that Lieutenant General Khumalo, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, there is a Major General Khumalo also in the KZN. It is him, who addressed the senior police to say, we expect you, this is how we expect you to perform during the hearing. Because now, according to the lieutenant telling me, the instruction from General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi is that they must find this general, Major General Khan, guilty, and he must be dismissed.
I'm not sure that you understood my question. What I was asking is that you're now flagging a division within SAPS of two generals, Generals Khumalo and Mkhwanazi on one hand, and General Khan on the other hand. Is that division in any way related to the division that you spoke about earlier, with General Sibia on one hand, General Masemola on another hand, on the other hand with ex-Minister Cele?
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarity. Yeah, it is true. That is the crime intelligence, the division of the South African Police Service, the same division which, when I spoke initially with General Mfazi and General Sibia, I was referring to. That was one of the cracks that I identified within the crime intelligence. The moment he says, and I did ask him, who's Major General Khan? And he said, is this other, but he knew him, didn't explain to me, I did not know him that time. And furthermore said, yeah, it seems like Khumalo and Mkhwanazi, they want to get rid of him. That's when immediately, because the recording is there, and then we were able to perform this whole thing. Then I realized that there are factions. And
the information as it came was that there was a suspicion then.
So just to clarify again, you were involved in a 252A operation.
That's correct.
Which involves essentially setting a trap.
That's correct.
And the target of the trap or the targets were Generals Mkonazi and Kumalo?
No. Remember, the senior officer, as he was talking to me, he did mention that they have promised him a colonel position. Not a colonel, no, they promised him a position. And with me, as we were talking, he was mentioning of a similar offer that I should perhaps be able, because I'm close to the minister with my legend building. He thinks I can also give him something better. Then the recording talks to that he was expecting something from me, which may be in the form of a promotion or something of that sort.
Sorry, but I just need to take you back to paragraph 36. You say the intention, second sentence, the intention was to employ this person, that's the officer, as a section 204 witness against both Lieutenant Colonel Kumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi.
Yes, it's true. The first question you mentioned, 252A, it was a trap. But because we have trapped him already, now is my time to tell him that I expect you to be a 204 to help me against Lieutenant General Mkonazi and General Kumalo. Because he was recorded already, telling me the instruction they have given him on the plot against General Khan.
So the 252A didn't relate to his future testimony in the disciplinary hearing. It related to what? To your meeting with him when you recorded him?
Both two sections becomes instrumental to remember the 252A was to trap on what he wanted, what he expected that I could be able to give him, as he has given me the information. And now I immediately use that information against him to say, now I need your testimony. You are going to testify against General Mkonazi and General Kumalo about their plot against General Khan, which was the plan.
So the trap that you say you had already entrapped him, I think that's the language you use. You had trapped him already. What was it that he's supposed to have done wrong that gives you that bargaining position to say he must now testify against the two generals?
The expectation of a rank. Remember, he said, if I give you, say something, at least you must talk to the minister to give me a rank or something.
So it is that he said you must give him a rank that constituted what you've trapped him on.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And when was the meeting with him at which you trapped him?
It was during December 2024.
I don't want to. I just want to mention now that I think when we go to the chats with Mr. Matlala, we may see that it's in January 2024. But are you? Is it? So I don't. We'll get into it in some detail when we go through those chats. But why do you say December 2024?
Because the disciplinary, I went to inquire, I spoke to the handler. He did confirm when arranging with Lieutenant Colonel Schnell, he did confirm that there is a disciplinary hearing which is underway against this particular General Khan.
Okay, well, we can look at the chronology as it plays out in the chats later. What then happened? Did the trap go ahead?
Yes, upon him agreeing to the 204 and because he was recorded already and the information was with the DPCI, now it was incumbent upon the side of Lieutenant Schnell to proceed or with the investigations and so forth. But the only thing that I did with the copy of the recording that I had after speaking to my handler, the conversation, the information was leaked to the media, and it was leaked by me purposely, and upon by General Kumalo and General Mkhwanazi. They had no choice because the information has leaked, and that's why I believe General Khan was acquitted. There was nothing he could do because there was a recording that proves that there was a plot to dismiss General Khan. And I heard him when he was here, if you remember, commissioners, he said after he has accepted to preside over General Khan's disciplinary hearing, I started talking to him. It is true. That was the period.
So let me just take a step back. You leaked the information to the media.
That's correct.
And the information that you leaked to the media was that certain witnesses had been pressurized to give false evidence.
And you will be given promotions. I think
in return for
the publication is available in one of the minutes.
But that was leaked. What you leaked to the media.
That's me. That's me.
And that had the result, in your view, of General Mkhwanazi acquitting General Khan.
Yeah, that's what happened. He had no choice. He ended up acquitting General Khan.
And what then happened with the Section 204 and the trap?
That commissioner, as senior counsel has alluded, that he has managed to obtain the transcript from Lieutenant Snell. I believe he'll be in a better position also to give senior counsel the progress relating to that matter.
And can I'm still not understanding the sequence, and in particular Section 252. You would have to get authorization under Section 252A to run a trap, would you not?
That's correct.
So when did you intend, or when did you seek authorization, and when did you intend to run the trap?
Through my handler, there is also a verbal authority to obtain the particular authorization, and it was done. I believe Lieutenant Colonel Snell will confirm the process as to how did the whole thing unfolded. But it was done in my presence by my handler because it was a verbal authority.
So did this happen before your meeting?
That's correct.
And the meeting you date in December, I suggest to you it might have been sometime in January. But it would, at any rate, it would have been before that meeting with the senior officer who had been asked to give false evidence.
Yes, but it was around December, I recall. But as you say in one of the messages to reflect, I believe the correct date will be obtained, Commissioner.
Okay. If we can move on to the 8 January ANC celebrations, can you take the Commission to paragraph 39?
Thank you, Commissioners. On January 8, 2025, the ANC celebration was scheduled in Cape Town. Matlala indicated to me that he wanted to meet Mkhunu at the celebration. He offered in December of 2024 to contribute to the event by subsidizing ordinary ANC members from different parts of the country to be able to attend the ANC celebration. I relayed this suggestion to my handler, Cele, who then asked my co-handler to accompany me to Cape Town because my handler was not available. Matlala assisted with the funding of transportation, entertainment, as well as accommodation of ANC members to attend the ANC celebration in Cape Town. Matlala made payment in the amount of 149,000 towards aforesaid expenses and other payments towards the travel expense of 8 persons, which included my co-handler and his partner. The amount of 149 was paid to the company called Cele, and payments were made to service providers by the company. The additional travel for the 8 persons mentioned was paid directly by Matlala.
Can you explain to the Commission what your link to Cele is?
The Cele is a company owned by my fiancé. Now, to ensure when you do this traveling arrangement, it happens all the time. You do payment to certain people, and the transactions or services end up not being rendered. But then with Cele, I knew because we had to. Other payments had to go to buses, others to flights, others they had to report petrol. Now we wanted a central way of controlling the funds. That's why I used my fiancé.
So you were able to direct what would happen to the payments that were made to Cele?
Not only on people who were already in Cape Town, because the payment arrived when we were in Cape Town already. Yes.
And who were the service providers who were paid out of this 149,000 that was ultimately paid?
Those are different people. Like I said, you will have other people been traveling by bus. You will have people at Cape Town. They say, Tina, we want to eat this. Others will have to be given, or you have to buy from a restaurant. Others you buy in a bulk. It depends. The money had to be available that side and be controlled. But as to other service providers, it is only Cele that is able to prepare who else did they pay the money to.
And are you able to account for that 149,000 as to where it went?
No, Cele must do. I'm not the director of Cele. They have to deal with that, and if the commission requests them to do so.
Okay, but your fiancé could account for that.
Yeah, those are entities. She maybe as I'm here, I may have another fiancé. It's not a thing that I can control her business.
You say you are not a director. Do you have any relationship whatsoever with this company?
Not company, the individual, the person.
So you have nothing to do with Cele?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Do you get paid by Cele?
No. I'm not getting paid. It's a business. She manages things. Where as a traveling agent, she here and there she'll take a percentage. That's her thing. Yes.
You say it was never your intention that Matlala would meet with Mchunu in paragraph 41. Can you just elaborate there?
Yes, indeed. One of the instructions from the handler was that both the handler and the handlers, Ket Matlala must never meet with Senzo Mchunu. My responsibility would rather be to manage him or to say things that I know would never materialize. But it was a clear instruction that they should never meet. And indeed, they never met.
And did you know why there was that instruction?
Yes, remember the intention on this company was to investigate the director who comes from being a John Wick, who's now Ket Matlala. There was no way you could bring that person closer to the minister.
Sorry, there's no way?
You could bring that person close to the minister, Commissioner.
You say at the last minute you informed Matlala that the minister wouldn't be attending the ANC celebration, and you suggested as an alternative that General Sabia, Matlala and yourself should meet in Camps Bay.
Yes, that was a consolation. Remember, on the last minute when I informed him that the minister is not in the celebration, is not in Cape Town, he also decided that he's no more coming. But I couldn't just say, when you operate on somebody, you can't say the minister is not coming and you just close the conversation. You have to tell him, but I think because Sabia is also in Cape Town, you can come and let's meet with him.
What would the purpose of meeting with Sabia be?
There won't be any purpose, because I knew he wanted to meet the minister, was to make him realize that I tried something because the minister is not here.
But what interest would Mr. Matlala have in meeting with General Sabia? Why would that be an offer that would be attractive to him?
No, if there was no way, I couldn't say to him, come and meet comrades. You would want him to meet someone. Remember, if he has frustrations about his business, you would want him to meet someone. Remember, General Sabia is a Deputy National Commissioner. It's not like I'm saying, come and meet Maliki, or you give him someone who will make him realize that, oh, you mean business.
But if I understand your evidence correctly, Matlala said he'd already paid millions of rands to the National Commissioner for this contract.
That's correct.
So why did you think offering him a route to the Deputy National Commissioner would be of any value to him?
Commissioners, it's just that I don't wish that I should be operating a particular person like yourself. But what is happening is, the moment there was no way I could say, hey, Kat, the minister is not coming, bye-bye. You would rather say, look, because the Deputy National Commissioner is here, I think you can come, we'll meet with him, but the minister is not here. So as to it adds value or it does not add value at the time, what was important is to pass the message for the man to make a decision whether he was coming or not. And I knew he would not come.
Why were you sure he would not come?
He wants the minister. He would have told me initially from the first place that I want Sabia, he said, I want Senzo Mtunu.
All right. You mentioned that your prediction was correct. He decided not to travel to Cape Town. Can you take the commission through paragraph 42?
That Matlala in China, after receipt of this information and the alternative suggestion, decided, however, not to travel to Cape Town. He was increasingly adamant that he wanted to meet with Nkunu, as he was not paid by the subs in terms of the tender contract awarded. Now, that's when I requested permission from my handler to facilitate a meeting between Matlala and the Chief of Staff, Cedric Gabinde, without the minister's blessing. And okay. Should I go to paragraph 43, Commissioner?
Please do, yeah.
My handler held the opinion that I should find a way to manage Matlala without attending to the minister's office, either to arrange an audience with Mchunu and or the Chief of Staff. He reiterated that I had to continue infiltrating Matlala network in order to identify all the role players within SAP's tender that was awarded to him.
So from your handler's perspective, they wanted to keep Matlala away from the minister's office entirely?
That's correct.
Can I just ask, I find that sentence very confusing. The handler wanted to keep Matlala away from the minister's office. That's the first part that you've just confirmed. And then it's the second part I don't understand. Did the handler encourage you or approve that you arrange an audience with the minister and the chief of staff, but just not attend the office of the minister? I don't understand what you're conveying in that sentence.
I requested permission from the handler
Yes.
that I should rather, how about I arrange a meeting with Chief of Staff Cedric Ngabinde,
Yes.
but I won't let the minister knows that I arranged that meeting. Still, the handler refused.
So the handler, so what you're saying in paragraph 43, I'm at 43 now. Are you there saying the handler refused you arranging a meeting with the chief of staff and Mkhunu? Is that what you're conveying in that?
Yes, both of them. Yes, I must stay away from the minister's office.
When you say minister's office, you mean the people in that office?
Yes,
or
the minister
physical office?
and the chief of staff. Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you.
So you say in paragraph 44 that you still had to manage Matlala's expectations.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Remember, he had problems with the non-payments. I then proceeded to say, but why don't I arrange a meeting for you with General Sibia and Nkabinde, or possibly the minister personally and himself. I said it to him.
So, although your handlers had said you can't let him get close, you can't let him meet the minister and or the chief of staff, you essentially offered that to him.
Yes. What is happening is like in this situation here, even if commissioners, I can tell someone now on the phone that come to the commission place and bring me food. He won't enter here. He won't get a chance to even, they'll demand identity, he won't enter the place. When I offer you something, it must be practically happening. There must be, for example, a message that I send to Kate to say, come to this hotel, I'm with the minister. That's when I want the person to meet the minister, or I'm with the chief of staff. But when someone says, I need to be paid, I have a problem, man, come on, man, I need to meet the minister. You can't say no if you are an operative. You say, I'll find a way. I know that there is an NEC meeting or the minister is being called. Sometimes you listen to the media. Immediately when you hear, you type him a message, hey, the minister could be available. He's now going to Cape Town. There's a portfolio meeting. Even when the portfolio is visual, you will even say he went to Cape Town to that meeting. The issue is you must keep contact with your target.
But knowing all along that what you were promising him could never materialize.
It would never materialize. And it never materialized.
Can we then move to the top of page 12 and paragraph 45?
Yeah. During April 2025, the exact dates I cannot recall. I traveled to KwaZulu-Natal by car. I made a trip after Matlala indicated to me that he was going to meet with a person who would solve all his difficulties in KwaZulu-Natal, moreover in Devon. And that he said in 2 days' time. I traveled to KwaZulu-Natal, arriving the day before Matlala's intended arrival. And my source at the King Shaka International Airport, an Uber driver kept observation on my behalf and informed me when Matlala arrived at the airport. The Uber driver relayed to me the registration number.
Just a minute. Do you not agree that this was an unwise choice of a source? An Uber driver could easily have gotten a call for a pickup and left the airport. How would the source be of use to you then?
Oh, thank you, Commissioner. I did not explain to that. Uber drivers and Bolt drivers when you have a mission with him, the first thing he gives you a price that I may not move. I'm going to sit here until your target arrives. And he'll tell you, I'll make 2.5 a day. And for you to make it easy, you will say, okay, sharp, I'll give you that much. So he observed for me that day. He even ensured that he followed him to the car, the other Bolt, the Uber he was traveling with, and sent me the particular registration because I was waiting along the on the road from the airport.
So is this Uber driver your informant or
Yes,
just a
yes.
random Uber driver?
No, it's an informant.
And how would you have identified Mr. Matlala?
He knows Matlala. He knew him. You remember you talk to a person, you will even send him a picture, but that time he knew him already.
You didn't send him a picture.
That time, no, he knew Kate Matlala already.
And he knew him from where?
Because we were talking about him. There was a time when I was in Durban, because as an agent, commissioners, you have a network. You see, for the nation, for the intelligence service to function, I can say you can't run intelligence service without without an agent. Now you'll have even people who are selling on small scale. Someone's knowing he's selling drugs, 100 rand, 700. You know him. You won't arrest him. You won't tell. He's your informant. He'll lie to you. He'll say, no, let's bank 2 million. But because it's your source, you won't tell your handler that this man sells drugs. But he's selling on small scale, but he gives you information that can really turn out. The same applies to Uber drivers. Even in Cape Town, you go to especially Durban, Tambo, Cape Town, you must have those people.
The payment to this informant came not from your handler, but from you directly to him.
You must now. Those are other things. The remunerations of like your Uber and does not happen like with the informant. Remember what happens. You explain to him that how much is this, whatever, and he'll say for a day I need 2,000 rand. Now, as I've alluded in my statement that informants cannot be paid by me, it doesn't necessarily say when an informant say to me, I need 200 rand, your target, I must tell the handler, hey, the man wants 200 rand. When I have means, I'm able to give him. But I must inform my handler, the man is standby, this is what we are looking for. In case we go right, please arrange something for him.
Okay, but the payment to the Uber handler comes from crime intelligence funds because it's you're doing work for crime intelligence.
Yeah, but now it is now. You see, now it was only 2 days that time. Mm-hmm. The handler must find someone in KZN who must facilitate that because the Uber driver is from KZN. But that was only 2 days time, and we have only agreed upon 1,000 rand at the time, which I spoke to my handler and was able to give him maybe something.
Thank you.
So I just need clarity here. You are paying the Uber driver essentially to take the day off from Uber and to be your source.
Yes, and then something like that. But sometimes you become lucky, your target arrives 11 o'clock. And it's not that you only give him, he can say, I give me 500.
But you're the one who's physically giving the money.
You have to make arrangement. Either you give him cash or you arrange a shop ride. There must be something that you do for this person. Now remember, when it comes to other informants, when they get caught, is able to say, look, on my phone, this man sent me mine. There must be always a way to exchange money with the informants, depending on the scenario.
No, my concern is not with the method. I just want to clarify that you are the one paying in this case. It's not an ordinary case where you don't pay and the handler pays. You are the one who pays in this case.
Yeah, it's more like investment. Correctly, you're correct. It's more like you tell a handler, "I'm going to give this man 1,000 or whatever," but as soon as the transaction or the mission has been completed, when you get remunerated, including the money you lost, you will be able to recover in some instances.
And in terms of paperwork there, does the handler ask any evidence from you? Or?
Yeah, the source, informant source, who's my link, well, there may not be a transaction between him and my handler. I will just inform my handler that this is and this and this how much for me to reach to this destination with this person.
But do you not have to give your handler some proof so that he can go back to the crime intelligence audit people and account for what he's given you to give to the source?
Your explanation, look, depending on the situation, commissioners. Let me give an example. There is a Uber driver will tell you, I'm transporting drugs from Hillbrow to Mamelodi. Now, and then he tells you that they give me these drugs on Friday 9 o'clock. But when you check the value of the drugs, about 10,000 rand. The value of the drugs, it's about 10,000 rand. You talk to an informer and say, look, there is this thing about the Uber. You see now that one, because we'll even ask him, who's delivering those drugs? Probably the one who's delivering the drugs has 50,000 rand worth of drugs, 100,000 worth of drugs. Now, this person will definitely be reimbursed by your handler. Now, it must be handled by him when it comes to that. But when you speak to an Uber person in Cape Town and say, there is this guy, you remember we were talking about his coming, are you able to sit for me there to check when the person is coming and so forth? Obviously, we'll go to the screen at the airport and say Johannesburg to Cape Town or Johannesburg to Durban. Okay, there are 5 flights. If it's 9 o'clock and there is a flight, the next flight comes only at 2, he may leave the airport and come at 1:30. But it doesn't necessarily mean you will at all times say sit there, even if there are only 2 flights during the day.
Yeah, I'm just interested in paperwork.
Yes.
How does crime intelligence account for this money that will ultimately end up in the hands of the Uber driver, but on what you're saying has gone through your hands?
Yes, it's when I have arranged with him and I've given him this guy and I paid him out. And in my interaction with my handler, that's when we'll cover all these other things.
But what does the paperwork say?
Oh, he comes with the paper I sign. There's nothing that I keep. It will be in a duplicate form.
So you will sign something with your handler to be reimbursed for money that you've given the Uber driver?
Yes, but you see now, you cannot go to a handler and say 5,000. You cannot speak those amounts that are not realistic. Where there is a lot of money needed, he must know in advance. And it is not the informant who determines how much. It's not the informant, commissioners. It's my arrangement with the informant, and at that time, the information, you are certain that the man is going to land on Wednesday, and the information for the Uber driver is to sit there 2 to 3 or 4 hours, and then you agree with him. If you give him 500, you tell your handler, I've given him 500. But for the work of this magnitude, not necessarily that I will want the refund if I have done that. Some of these things I afford them. What I want is to know the person that is going to help Kate do away with all these problems at that moment. Yeah.
So you pay your informant and you say you can claim it back from the handler when the mission is complete and has been achieved. The handler pays you whatever amount you say you paid the Uber driver. How does the handler know that to believe you
Okay.
that you paid the Uber driver 1,000 rands and not 500 rands.
Okay, maybe if you can speak in this case, where I gave that man 1,000 rand, I did not claim it. I just told I thought we are talking generally, how does this thing work? But in this case, I gave him 1,000 rand and I did not claim it. I told my handler, and by the way, because the person I was following, it happened so differently. The Uber dropped him at the hotel. He was with his wife. They went into the hotel, and I waited and waited. They came in a white Mercedes Benz, picked the man up, and I had to follow this Mercedes Benz to this other place in Umhlanga.
Can I just ask you not to mention the address of the place, because we don't mention addresses for obvious reasons.
And then I went to Umhlanga to check the place, and then I waited for some time because they were together inside the house, and I did not know whose house was that. It was just a white house. It's fine. Then I waited for them as they came out. Then we went back to the hotel. I also slept and went away. And that was in April this year. Commissioners, May, June, July, during the 6th of July, during the General Mokonazi's press conference, General Mokonazi did mention Ket Matlala Brown Mogotsi during his press statement. And it came out to everyone that on that day, Ket Matlala was found with a cell phone in prison. And indeed, and he called me, very furious. He said, Brown, can I tell you something? There was a time I told you that I went to look for someone who can solve my problem. And he said, and I said, yes, I remember. Because when I followed him, I didn't tell him that I was following him. And it became that I did not know who he met. They were driving the car, and it was something that was packed. And he said, I went to see General Mkonazi's house. And I also gave him something. He was talking about money. I gave him, I also gave him, but he was speaking this language. And he gave me this guy, and now he's talking like this about us. I think, and then I never said to Kate, I followed you. I did not know. Honestly speaking, I didn't see who that person was. But how he narrated everything about the day he was going to meet someone who was going to solve his problems, I remembered. And he said it was General Mkonas that he went to see.
You say this was after Mr. Matlala's, after General Mkonazi's press conference of 6 July.
That's correct, Commissioner.
So Mr. Matlala was calling you from prison?
Yes, he did call me from prison, not once.
And which number did he call you on?
No, prison phones. You cannot. No, it was just another number.
No, which number of yours did he call you on?
Oh, my cell phone numbers. Yes, the one that
he uses in the chats.
Yes, everyone has that number.
And did he call you on? Was he still using WhatsApp, or was he calling you landline?
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Then in 48, you talk about some other calls from prison. Can you just briefly describe those?
Yes. He did call me, of course, from prison, but we were discussing his strategy. How was he going to get bail, and what is happening, what is transpiring, and what is he doing all that. What is happening to him, his plans of getting bail.
Let me take you back to the visit to Durban. When Mr. Matlala said that he was going to go to somebody who would solve all of his problems, was he referring to the problems he had with regard to the tender?
Yeah, he was mentioning, yes, particularly in subs.
Yes. I'm thinking the tender, as I understand, was a tender concluded at national level. Did Mr. Matlala explain how the KwaZulu-Natal commissioner, sub-commissioner, would have assisted on this?
He never said, can I, I thought this is an omission. Honestly, I thought maybe he was going to meet General Cele or someone close to General Cele. But then I only got surprised when he said it was General Mkhwanazi and I was in his house.
And you did not ask when he told you, you did not ask, how did you think the KZN subs-commissioner would have helped you on something like this?
No, I did not ask him, commissioners. And then, you know, in prison, people will not call you and say, hey, how are you? Are you fine? It's like you pass a message, what you want to say, and then maybe the phone goes away. But he did mention to me that he was, of course, in KZN to see, and he went to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's house.
Thank you.
Can I ask, you had the address where he went?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Did you report that to your handler?
I give that to my handler, that's correct.
And did your handler ever tell you who lives at that address?
No. This whole thing stopped after Ket himself told me who he went to meet. But the description of the trip, it fitted with the problems that he told me about and the period. Because, you know, if let's say it happened in April, Monday, and he tells me on Thursday, so it took very, very long, only on the 6th of July. Yes.
Paragraph 49, you now talk about your actions after Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's press briefing on 6 July. Can you take the commission through that?
Yes, after Lieutenant General press briefing on July, and moreover the reference made therein to me, I decided to continue investigating General Mkhwanazi and obtain as much information as I could. To give context to the arguments and statements that he had made during the press statement, my handler at all relevant times knew of my continued investigation and it carried his approval. And paragraph 50, sometime thereafter, towards the end of August, I contacted the late former Minister of Police, Nathi Mthethwa. I wanted to understand why Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was removed as acting National Commissioner of Police in 2012. I spoke to Mthethwa regarding my concerns that General Mkhwanazi was CIA operative according to information I received from my source. Mthethwa said he shared my suspicion. In order to confirm this, he said I needed to travel to Kenya to meet with the contact who was aware of CIA operations in South Africa. 51.
Can I just stop you at this point? Had you ever met the late Minister Mthethwa before?
As a member of the ANC, long time. Yes.
And how did you contact him?
You mean now before? Yes, I had his WhatsApp numbers. I believe even the gadgets, remember it's known, there was a search and seizure on my phones recently. That number, I'll give you the name I saved it under, is there. The name is there.
And where was he when you contacted him?
No, we only spoke over the phone. I think he was overseas.
And he said you needed to travel to Kenya to meet a contact.
That's correct.
And did he give you details of who this contact was and how to get hold of him?
He gave me the name and the contact numbers on WhatsApp. I phoned this person at some stage. He said to us in Tanzania, and he was going to come back 3-4 days later. And when I called, he confirmed he was back in Kenya. And that's when I left to Kenya on the 10th of September 2025. I believe in some annexures the ticket is also, I've annexed the proof of the ticket, and I returned back from Kenya on the 12th of September 2025.
So,
and in Kenya,
so proof by means of, or rather, you have proof which is a ticket.
yes, I flew to.
And I assume you also have stamps on your passport.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And taking you back to the call you made to Ambassador Mtetwa, I think you said there's proof on your phone, a phone that was confiscated.
The contact numbers. He asked the question was, how did I contact him?
Okay.
That's correct.
Also, there will be a record on your phone of you having called Ambassador Mtetwa.
I believe it's supposed to be there.
It should be.
Yes,
It should be. There should be a record of that.
Yes.
So this will be a French number or a South African number?
No, it was that 27. He was still using the same.
Okay.
Because they still work outside. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And if you can then tell the Commission what happened in Nairobi.
Oh, in Nairobi, I did meet a gentleman who introduced his name only as George, but I don't believe this was his name. But the relevance of this guy, he's more conversant about most of the CIA operations in SADC, not only in South Africa. And we perhaps I should read it. He confirmed the possibility of the information obtained from my source has been correct. And again, I contacted Mtatwa, the former.
Sorry, before we get to 52, you say he confirmed the possibility of the information obtained from my source as being correct. So if I understand that correctly, he couldn't say it was correct, but he said he equally couldn't say it wasn't correct.
I do not understand the question, Commissioner.
You say he confirmed the possibility of the information obtained from my sources being correct. So he didn't, did he say to you, this information is correct? Or did he say this information, it's possible?
He also held a suspicion. Which...
And you were satisfied with that?
We still have to engage. The investigation is continuing. He said he lost the contact number of a particular person, but he also made reference to this current G20 that during this period, there may be some lead. He will probably come back to me.
You see why I'm asking you if you were satisfied? You had gone all the way to Nairobi, Kenya, and all you are told is that there's a possibility that the information may be correct. And you come back to South Africa.
Okay. Commissioner?
It seems to me that it was all a futile exercise.
Okay, Commissioner. Commissioner, my world is a very different world. It's something else, Commissioner. But just to give you a hint, it is not that I arrive at the airport 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I meet, hey, how are you, sharp. Is it true? No. Possibility. Oh, bye-bye. Then I got into the flight. A person will give you when I meet him, he must introduce himself properly to me. I also do the same. Now, agents, when they meet, there are certain things that you look for from this person. He'll give you reference about something or about someone. And he'll tell you that maybe in Botswana, there is this person doing whatever, and they are doing similar things. And this one we know for sure, he is a CIA. But this guy is doing something similar to what this man does. For example, you must check them. Every year they will go to Dubai and go to Switzerland. That's where the Switzerland meeting takes place or something. He'll give you information that you are able to put the dots together. And especially when you meet the person for the first time, I'm still going to go there. He may come here. We have to meet. He can't just say, yes, it's true, this and this. He know I'll say, but what do you have? Because he asked me, I hear you are saying that, but what do you have? Then I told him so many things about the Richards Bay and all these things, how he behaved. And I must tell you how, because this whole thing of the 6th of July, to me, it was something else. It's not what we see. Something that was staged more like this was like a coup, a civil war. Is what I was trying to show him, and when you bring these dots together, there is a theory in intelligence commissioners which is called misdirection, and you start to see how this 6th July was. It's more like staged. From what I saw, from what I'm seeing. And when I was trying to tell him, and he laughed, he could not. But he's also carrying the issue of the suspicion.
From what you are saying, it seems to me that there was a lot of information from you, but on the bottom line, which is what we had gone to Nairobi for, all you got was just this one-liner. There is a possibility.
Yes, which will help me to investigate. Will continue to investigate, and we'll finally get the truth, because this is just a suspicion.
Could you not have done this over a phone call?
Because I was so hopeful that I will get something either negative or positive, but I thought I'll get an answer. And it's not the first time, Commissioner, where you get to travel for information.
In your world, do you ever interact on issues like this over the phone in your environment?
If we know each other, being able to talk on certain codes which will understand each other, yes. But I can't talk to someone I never met and say something, and we cannot. It's not doable.
What's the difference between seeing each other face to face and talking over the phone?
It is the thinking that the phone is not safe. There's that thing. All of us will say, hey, you can't talk this over the phone. And also to take effort to obtain information, it makes a person realize, Commissioner, that this man is serious about this.
But you consider the phone to be safe when you spoke to Ambassador Mthethwa about the same subject?
You know each other, you can just ask him.
No, this is about safety now.
Yes.
This is about safety.
Yes.
Did you consider the phone to be safe when you spoke to Ambassador Mthethwa about the same subject?
Yeah, but and he was far. And for me and him, we thought we could just talk about it. It's not that it is safe or not. I get the commissioner's point.
I think you're conflating issues. You made a point about your reluctance about raising this with a person in Nairobi over the phone. You made a point that the phone might very well not have been safe. That's a totally different issue from whether he would have had any comfort to talk to you about this subject. The two are totally different. There's one, the question of safety, and two, the question of comfort or lack of it. Do you get me?
That's correct.
Now, I'm saying, let's focus on the question of safety only.
Yes.
Now, if there were issues of safety, why is it that you were comfortable to raise the issue with Ambassador Mthethwa over the phone, which you consider not to be safe? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I understand the question. I believe I should put it right. Also, it's more riskier to talk to a stranger about something over the phone that you have never met. And I believed, Commissioner, that First, let me agree to what you're saying, that it was a futile exercise and I wasted time. I could have done it over the phone. I must admit that. It's just that at that moment, I thought the man, if I meet him, it's difficult to make accusations to a stranger. I also thought, seeing me face to face, he may be more comfortable and tell me the truth, if there is any truth. But that's the answer he gave me.
Thank you.
Mr. Mogotsi, you say in that paragraph 50 that Minister Mthethwa referred you to a contact and your wedding. Contact who was aware of CIA operations in South Africa. So this contact, this George, is not a CIA operative himself. He's someone who is aware of CIA operatives.
That's correct.
And he must, who is he? He belongs to an organization. How does he become aware of CIA operations?
I don't know. I don't know.
You were not
I was
told,
just told,
you were
yes.
just told go meet
Yes.
George.
Yes.
And you didn't know who George is. And you went to meet him.
Commissioner, no one will say I am a CIA operative or I am not. But when you get information that this person may know something and you start talking to him and he agrees to meet you, you will go and find out.
So George may well just have been a random person you don't know, because you don't know his organization. You know nothing about him except that he's George. So it's fair to say that he may well have been a random person who just misled you when he said there's a possibility.
It's not about being random. It's like me, if you ask me, to which organization do I belong in?
Yes.
I will not say crime intelligence.
Yes.
I'll just say maybe I'm an operative. Now, if George says to me he is an agent,
You believe him.
not to believe, I agreed to go and see him.
Okay.
Yes, and I've acceded to the fact that it was futile, but he has promised to provide more information in future.
And this trip you made as a contact agent, it's part of your investigation as a contact agent.
Yes, but that's correct.
So it would have been paid for
No,
by
I
crime
paid it.
intelligence.
No, I paid for myself. I've not claimed anything from my landlord. Some of these things, Commissioner, you know, I'm very patriotic. It is that's that people don't know. Some of these things I will do them from my pocket.
So the long and short of it is you paid for this
That's
trip
correct.
out of your pocket.
That's correct.
Thank you.
If I may ask, how much did it cost you? Traveling, hotel bills, and whatever other incidentals. How much did it cost you?
15,000 rand.
And I assume you have claimed amounts less than 15,000 rand from crime intelligence, have you not?
Less than or above.
I'm saying less, even less than, or have you not?
Yeah, I've been there for some. It's not more than that. Not more than that. You'll claim here and there, but not more than that.
Sorry?
I have not claimed more than that. You mean like money, cash, 15,000? No,
You have not.
no.
I find it strange then that you would not have claimed back an amount as high as 15,000 rand.
It's not the first time, commissioners. Commissioners, and this is not only about claiming. Putting the country first, being patriotic, respecting the flag, carries more weight than these things people are thinking. A lot of weight.
Thank you.
You then, on your return, say you contacted ex-Minister Mthethwa and briefed him about the trip in Kenya. What did you report to him?
I told him we are still at the same position. There was nothing more tangible provided. The guy also has similar suspicions. He did not give me anything tangible.
And what did ex-Minister Mthethwa say to you?
He did tell me that he was also going to come to the commission, and amongst other things, he was prepared to corroborate his suspicions also.
For the record, I can confirm that Minister Mthethwa at no stage communicated his intention to come to the commission. He made no contact with the commission, ever.
Yes, he did. He did tell me. He never said he made contact. He was just saying he'll be coming, he's prepared to come to the commission and give that.
Can you date when you spoke to him?
Come again, Commissioner?
Can you date when you spoke to him to report what had happened in Kenya?
Yeah, just after I came from Kenya, around the 14th, I think. 13th, 14th September.
And again, would that be reflected on your phone?
Yes, I believe so.
Mr. Shaskelson, please. Mr. Mogotsi, can you read into the record from the second sentence of paragraph 52 all the way to my handler at the end of paragraph 52?
Okay, Mthethwa confirmed that he was prepared to testify before the commission in confirmation of inter alia the fact that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had been removed from office by Mthethwa for various reasons, one of which was the suspicion of him being a CIA agent. I relayed this information to my handler.
Thank you.
And we know that the late Minister Mthethwa passed away on 30 September 2025, which is what you allude to in paragraph 53. You say, under what can only be described as suspicious circumstances. Are you aware of any facts in this regard that are not in the public domain?
No, I know nothing. I only see what is in the public domain.
Can you then read paragraph 54 of your statement and maybe expand and explain to the Commission what you are wanting to convey in that paragraph?
The modus operandi I've adopted as an MK agent and thereafter as informant to South African Police Service as an agent for crime intelligence with a formal handler assigned has always been that I'm constantly on the lookout for information that will suit my purpose in a particular situation. I would typically take advantage from acquiring a piece of information, relaying it to a specific person in a specific context for a specific purpose and to elicit specific reaction. It means I have learned to always look for any information that I can use, be it spoken by someone or any information that is on the public domain, if it's suitable or if I can use it to the advantage of whatever that I want to further. That's what I learned to do.
Mr. Mogotsi, in your capacity as contact agent, good afternoon.
Thank you.
In your capacity as contact agent, you interact with your handler and your informants. You're investigating so many cases, according to you. Do you keep a diary where you record this information? And the dates and who you met and what information they gave you? Where do you record all this information?
As an agent, you are required at all times to make notes and whatever and give to your handler who keeps your file. Your file is kept by your handler.
So you
cannot have a diary of anything of that sort, which if it becomes accessible to anyone, you'll definitely be attacked.
So details relating to this trip to Kenya, all that information, you've already given it to your handler.
That's correct.
You no longer have the notes with you.
Yeah, but there was nothing written in Kenya. We only conversed as we do. And I came to tell him, and then we noted in the file, and we kept the file. That's correct.
I'm assuming that when you had to go to Kenya, you needed to go to a certain address at a certain time to meet a certain person who has been described to you? Because you can't just go there and meet anybody. You had to know what the person looks like, where you are going to meet them, at what time. Where did you record all that information?
It's not. It's a normal thing. I'm flying at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I arrive in Kenya 5 o'clock, and then he'll tell you. You sit in the restaurant 6 o'clock. You go to outside. There is MTN and Telcom in Kenya. You then either you buy airtime, but in the airport there is Wi-Fi. To say I've arrived, and he tell you I'm wearing blue jacket, I'm outside. You go and meet him, and then you drive, go somewhere. From there you come back.
So that will be in your WhatsApp then. It won't be in a notebook.
No, you can't write that. You talk to him over the phone. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Maybe on the same theme of records and to an earlier discussion where you say in your statement that you were involved in an operation where with 32 suspects and 32 firearms were seized. You remember that operation?
That's correct.
Now, you are a contact agent. You are not an operating member of the SAPS. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But you are in an operation. There must be a record of this operation.
It is
somewhere, and
it is annexed.
It must show that you were. No. I'm not talking about
Okay.
pictures.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the pictures that are attached. I'm talking about a proper record of the operation itself in SAPS's books, and which will tell whoever is interested who was involved with that operation.
That's correct.
So one can expect to find you there.
Yes. What happened is that the person I'm referring to was who I was doing operations with. He has made a statement, and on his statement, he will say, remember his name is there and contact numbers. He'll say my source. He won't write my name. So only because I believe the commission will perhaps meet the person. It is him who will tell you, this is my source, this is the man who called us, this is what he told us, and that's how we knew.
Yes, no, I'm not asking about the source. I'm asking about you participating in an operation. Unless I'm reading your paragraph 29 wrong, you say I was also part of an operation during October 2024, rather, when 32 suspects were apprehended and 32 firearms were seized.
Yes.
So if you were, what I'm asking is if you were part of that operation
Yes.
as it unfolded, there must be a record, because we have come to learn that operations of the SAPS, there is a record of an operation that was undertaken and who was there. So I'm asking, you would be in that record.
I'm not sure if Commissioner is aware that being part of the operation is not physical, it's about information.
So you don't mean you were present when there was, I think, this takedown or whatever they call
No,
it?
if there can be a crossfire, you will be hurt. You cannot.
All right, no, I then misunderstood your statement in the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mogotsi. We're now going to get to the specific topics that we asked you to address in the various notices we sent to you. And the first topic is the evidence of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, which you address from the top of page 14, paragraph 56. I have some questions later on in this section, but maybe if you could take the Commission through paragraphs 56 to 60.
The evidence of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. The evidence of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the conclusion drawn, and the assumptions made by him regarding me cannot be, in the absence of what I have stated here in above, be criticized. I say this because Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi could not and did not know that at all relevant times I was a contact agent acting on behalf of the state with tasks, orders to investigate both Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and Matlala as aforesaid. The perception and assumptions that Lieutenant Mkhwanazi alluded to in his evidence with reference to me is exactly the outcome and the perception that I wanted to obtain and to create in order entirely to gain his trust and to get closer to him to investigate his ties with the CIA. At all relevant times, my handlers had full knowledge of and was kept appraised of my conduct and strategy, not only where Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was concerned. I was privy to sensitive information regarding the South African Police Service and crime intelligence, not because I had dubious relationship with any senior police officer or persons in the public office, but due to my involvement as a contact agent for the crime intelligence and through my vast network of informers and sources.
Can I just stop you at this point? Did your informers and sources within the SAPS, did they know that you were an agent?
I don't understand the question, Commissioner.
So people who were giving you information, SAPS members and crime intelligence members in particular, did they, and who gave you information, did they know that you were an agent?
Yeah, it depends. It's not everyone. But remember, someone who's employed in the crime intelligence will not necessarily be an informant. Except for maybe a person who's in the employment of crime intelligence, being a support staff, for example, in the human resource or supply chain. That particular person, you may, of course, work with that person and the person will know that you are an agent. But others will, in this context, think you are maybe close to the minister, or you can do some changes, or you are a person connected in the ANC, top brass, you can help them. Others, they perceive that your standing, you know someone in politics, or you know a person relevant to the situation that you are discussing.
Because I'm just trying to understand the situation that you're describing, which is an unusual one, which is of an agent operating to investigate crime intelligence itself and depending on sources of information that come from inside crime intelligence. Now, it seems to me that if people inside crime intelligence know that you're an agent and give you information on that basis, there's a risk that that will compromise the whole operation, because once your status as an agent is known, it will be very difficult for you to get covert information from anybody else in crime intelligence. Do you accept that?
I accept that, not only in crime intelligence. I was raising that with my legal team to say, after this engagement with your office, senior counsel, remember initially the plan was to bring this statement in camera. I've taken into cognizance all those factors, and I'm now aware that from now on the whole world knows that I am this person. So no one ever will ever, I don't think there's anyone who will ever give me information. Even if they say there is a tender of 10,000, once you see me, you say, oh, okay. They will never work with me. I was telling my team, how are we going to deal with this going forward?
It is a concern, but I mean, in fairness, I think you yourself have disclosed your status as an undercover operative in interviews before you came to this commission?
I have never commissioned. I've always said the right platform will come. There was no way, because I after the commission was established, I also checked and read the terms of reference. I really believed I will present this in camera.
But, so that's the first issue, which is that if people know you are an agent, then there's always a risk that your status as an agent leaks into the broader world of crime intelligence that you're investigating, and your position is compromised. But you accepted that proposition.
Yes, provided you do not explain to the person giving you information at first. You explain to a person that, look, the information you are giving me, this now comes this part. I can assure you, even the president will deal with this. You assure a person.
But that raises my second concern, which is if people don't know that you're an agent.
They didn't know, now they know.
No, now they do. But if they don't, then what you're doing is, well, what's happening in the process is that crime intelligence operatives, employees, agents, are giving you what I would imagine is classified information, thinking that they're giving it to someone who isn't an agent.
No, there's no one. You see, all the information and instructions, commissioners, they will come through the handler. The handler will tell you there is this, and he will show you. There is no way you have to find me in possession of classified information. You can look at it, make notes, and understand, and even the notes you can't keep. But this investigation, it's not like a normal investigation. You meet a police carrying a docket, goes to a person and say, you stole a laptop. What happens is you tell your handler, the investigating officer of this case is sparkling. He knows he has to go and talk to this investigating officer. In some instances, the commander of the handler, I don't know his commander, he will talk to the commander of this investigating officer to say, we want to gather information for you. Crime intelligence, they will not carry the dockets, but he will, with the information I give him, he'll come and fill this docket in with the information. Not necessarily that I must come and salute and say, hey, I'm an agent, give me the information, I'm going to help you. No, that's not how it works. You don't show the identity of people involved, and you talk to your person and say, with this information, I'll be able to do 1, 2, 3. Remember, a support staff who's a data capturer in supply chain, he can give you information and ask you, please make sure nobody knows about this, that it comes from me. It's a support staff in the supply chain. Once you have read it, maybe you take a picture, you give it back, then you give it to a handler, and the investigation unfolds. They won't know who gave it to you, and it doesn't necessarily has to be you saying I'm an agent. Remember, the support staff cannot even trust this other police. Your handler that is not trusted by all the people. But they can trust me, and I give this handler the information.
Can we very briefly just deal with the letter, the disbandment letter that you address at 61 and 62 before we take the lunch break?
Maybe before you do that, Mr. Chairperson, just the last thing on this topic that you're having now. You do, I think from your evidence, in fact, it's not even a question of accepting, you did disclose to General Sibiya that you're an agent.
That's correct.
So other people may well know because of that disclosure to General Sibiya. You have no control over it. He may well have told other people in crime intelligence.
Listen, I don't know.
Yes.
It is him who knows.
But it's possible that, in
Yeah.
fact, the people in crime intelligence that you are discussing with Mr. Chaskalson may well have known that you're an agent because you've already shared that information with somebody else, and that is General Sibia. It has to be a yes, Mr. Mogotsi.
I don't understand, commissioners. Commissioner is saying after I told General Sevilla, he told someone.
He may have told other people.
Yeah, he may.
You don't know.
I don't know.
So it is quite possible on that
That's correct.
hypothesis that
That's correct.
people in crime intelligence, other people in crime intelligence may well have known that you are.
If he has told them.
Okay. Thank you.
I think, Mr. Chaskalson, let's deal with what you were referring to when we come back.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's adjourn and resume at 2.